Hello all, welcome back to Edumon tutorial series. I am Guru Renuka, instructor for the subject Elements of Electrical Engineering. In this session, we are going to start our second chapter, that is DC generators. In this session or in this lecture, we are going to learn about the DC generator principle and then the construction details of DC generator or motor. For DC generator or for DC motor, the construction is same, so you need not worry. And we are not learning the entire science of electrical engineering. As far as I know, we are just learning few chapters from the subject Elements of Electrical Engineering. So take a chill pill, okay? Now let's get started now. A great percentage of electric machines in service are AC machines, but DC machines also have industrial importance. So we have to learn about DC machines. In this chapter, we will learn about DC generators. In the next chapter, in the coming chapter, we are going to learn about DC motors. So the generator principle. An electric generator is a machine that converts mechanical energy into electrical energy. The word generator itself clearly depicts that it generates electrical energy from mechanical energy. So, an electric generator is a machine that converts mechanical energy into electrical energy. So, in the last chapter we have learnt about this induced EMF, right? This here also it follows the same. So, whenever magnetic flux is cut by the conductor, EMF is induced, right? And so current is induced if the conductor circuit is closed, right? This is what we have learned. So, the essential components of a generator are a magnetic field, conductor or a group of conductors, and then motion of conductor with respect to magnetic field. Here the principle is dynamically induced EMF. So let us look at a simple loop generator. See here I have considered a single turn loop A, B, C, D, and its ends are connected to an external load. This is placed between two bar magnets, this being the north pole and this being the south pole. So the AB side is under the influence of north pole and the CD side is under the influence of the south pole. Here this single turn loop ABCD is rotating in a clockwise direction at constant speed in a uniform magnetic pole. Okay, initially this AB side, the side AB of the coil is under the influence of the north pole and the CD side is under the influence of the south pole. So as the loop rotates, the magnetic flux linking these sides AB and CD changes and hence the induced EMF also changes. The EMF generated in this due to the rotation is an alternating one. I'll tell you how. See, initially this AB side is under the influence of north pole, right? So it has one direction. The induced EMF has one direction. But when this AB rotates and when it gets under the influence of the south pole, the direction of the induced EMF is changed, right? Hence, the EMF generated here is an alternating one. But that is here the AB side is under the influence of north pole and the CD side is under the influence of south pole, and so when the ends of the conductor are connected to an external load, they form a circuit, right? And so an alternating current will flow through the external load. The alternating voltage is converted into the direct voltage using a device called commutator. So commutator is a mechanical rectifier. We will see how a commutator looks like. A commutator is a cylindrical metal ring which is cut into two halves or two segments, okay? C1 and C2. As I've said, it's a metallic cylindrical ring. Please bear with my drawing skills. Okay, C1 and C2, they are cut into two halves and they are separated by a thin mica sheet, mica or mica, in whichever way you pronounce. So this is a commutator. So the ends of the loop, the AB end and the CD end, are connected to the segment C1 and C2 respectively. So this AB is connected to C1 and this CD is connected to C2. See here. And there are two carbon brushes connected to this commutator part C1 and C2. That is, they are stationary. So two stationary carbon brushes rest on the commutator and they lead current to the external load. And the arrangement is in such a way that the coil side, which is under the influence of the south pole, is connected to the positive brush. Okay, to the side of the positive brush, and the coil side, which is under the influence of the north pole, is connected to the negative brush, and these brushes will lead the current to the external load. So this is how the arrangement looks. Okay, here the coil AB, which is under the influence of north pole, is connected to the external load PQ at point P through C1. So C1 connects the coil side AB at point P of the external load, and similarly C2, the commutator part C2, connects the coil side CD to the external load at the point Q, and the direction of current in this external load is from Q to P. Okay, when this coil undergoes a half revolution or rotates by an angle 180 degrees, that is, this AB side comes under the influence of the south pole and the DC side comes under the influence of north pole. And this AB is connected at the point Q and DC is connected at the point P. If you observe, the current direction is reversed. In the coil, it is reversed. See, initially the current in AB was in this direction, and after it goes a half revolution, the current direction has changed. But in the external load, the direction of current is still from Q to P. That is because if you observe here, the commutators have also changed the position. Initially it was C1, C2, right? And they have gone and 180 degree change, and they are C2 and C1. You got it? So the commutator part C1 and C2 have changed the alternating voltage into a direct voltage, a pulsating direct voltage. Okay, so this is the use of commutator. A commutator is a mechanical rectifier. It converts alternating voltage into direct voltage, and this is how this is about a simple loop generator. Next we will look at construction of DC generator, and the same and it is same for the DC motor too. Okay, construction of DC generator or DC motor. Both the DC generator and DC motor have the same construction. So a DC generator can be used as a DC motor, and a DC motor can also be used as a DC generator. So the DC machines, okay, they have 5 principal components. They are field system, armature core, armature winding, commutator, brushes. So now look at this diagram of or a drawing of the DC machine. See, if you can understand and picturize this drawing, you can write the construction of DC generator in your own words. Okay, so let us look at it. This circular frame, okay, this circular frame is called the yoke. This outer circular frame, yoke, and these are the poles, north pole, south pole. Okay, and this is the field winding, yoke, pole, field winding. Okay, and then this is the armature. This is the armature, and this is the armature winding. This is the commutator, and these are the brushes. See, here we have seen this is the commutator and this is the commutator brush. Same here, in the same sense, commutator brush. So it is yoke, pole, field winding, armature, armature winding, then commutator, brush. So what are the 5 principal components? They are the field system, then the armature core, then the armature winding, commutator, and the brush. Okay, so now let's discuss the first component of DC machine, that is the field system. As I've said earlier, this circular frame is the yoke. This is the armature system or armature core. These are the poles and this is the field winding, right? So the field system, the function of the field system is to produce uniform magnetic field in which this armature rotates, right? So there are these poles. So the field system has a number of salient poles which are of course in even number. See here we have two souths and two norths, right? Total four. So the number of salient poles are even in number. These poles are bolted to the inside of the circular frame, which is what we call the yoke. So the poles are bolted to the inside of the circular frame called yoke, and this yoke is made of solid cast steel, whereas the poles are stacked laminations. You have to remember this word because we are going to deal with it in the further sessions. Okay, you know what stacks are, right? So the poles are stacked laminations. So, and these poles are wound with field coils. Okay, so the field coils are mounted on poles, and these field coils carry DC exciting current. And the field coils are connected in such a way that the adjacent poles have opposite polarity. See here, this is north, south, north, south, north. So the field coils are mounted on the poles and carry DC exciting current and are connected in such a way that the adjacent poles have opposite polarity, and the fields develop MMF, right? So the developed MMF in the field coil produces magnetic flux produces magnetic flux in pole pieces, air gap, armature frame. That is, see, the magnetic flux passes from this pole piece and through the frame and through this air gap and through the armature. Air gap, this thing. This is the pole, right? And this is the armature. There's gap between the pole and the armature. This is the air gap. Okay. So the developed MMF by the field coil produces magnetic flux that passes through pole pieces, air gap, armature and the frame. And since the armature and this field system and the armature have the material of the armature and the field system have high permeability, most of the developed MMF is used to set up magnetic flux in this air gap, right? MMF is being wasted, so we have to reduce the length of this air gap. Generally for DC machines, the length of air gap is between 0 to 5 mm to 1.5 mm. So by reducing the size of the field coils, that is by reducing the number of turns of the field coils, the air gap can be reduced. Okay. Now this yoke has two functions. We know that it serves as a support for the field poles, right? And then it provides return path for the magnetic flux created by the field windings. Here we have seen, right? See, the magnetic flux passes through the south pole, okay, passes through the south pole piece and then through this yoke, okay, then through the circular frame and then through the north pole, then this air gap, armature, air gap, south pole. So these are four, this one first part, second, third, fourth. So if you observe this diagram, I have shown you 4 parts for the magnetic flux as there are 4 poles, and this is how the poles are connected through the field winding. So this is about the field system. Next we will see about the armature core. So in this lecture we have learnt about the DC generator principle and the working of commutator, and we have also learned one component of the construction details of DC generator. Like we have learnt about one part of DC generator. We are going to learn the next 4 parts in the next lecture. Okay, that's it for today's lecture, guys. Meet you soon.